Previously on Relatables Baddies Book Club, we have to do our predictions.
What's our predictions for the next book? I think she's special, obviously. And she is, personally, I think that she is a lot more powerful than the rest. Maybe not as powerful as the High Lords, but I do think she's going to be like a very, very strong High Fae. So like better than Lucian, better than all these other High Fae that we know. You know what I mean?
Does the King of Highburn still want to kill the mortals?
Yes. So here, that's where I'm going.
I'm thinking she's going to figure out how to use her powers, and her whole ploy is going to be, I reckon she's still going to become a queen of something.
Okay.
And her whole purpose is to save the mortal realm from Highburn.
Okay. For some reason, I don't think this book is going to be the book that Highburn is trying to kill the mortals.
Maybe it's later.
I think it's going to be later in what there's 3 more books after this. I think another challenge arises in this book, and basically there's going to be just like another thing happens, right? Maybe it is a threat from Highburn to just Prithian and not the mortal realms yet, but there's going to be so much back and forth of her going from Spring Court to Night Court. Yeah. So I think that what's going to happen is...
Because, wait, I might be reading between the lines here. Because everyone said the second book is the best book, I'm thinking she's going to figure out how to fight her love between Tamlin and Rhysand. And there's just going to be a lot of fucking, and a lot of love, and a lot of dates, and she's going to choose one. And I think Tamlin dies.
Fuck off!
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Here's what I think
And they
happens.
find out that Tamlin's love wasn't real, and he was only doing it for ulterior motives to save everything.
She knows that.
Yeah, but I think he figures out for himself, and she realizes it down the track, because now she's got time, and there's not all this Amarantha bullshit around.
Here's what I think happens. She's at Spring Court. Every time she's at the Spring Court, sex scene.
Yeah.
All right? Sexy scene between her and Tamlin.
Yeah.
Could be rough, could be sweet, who knows?
Love making,
all right?
Yeah.
And then she goes to the Night Court for 1 week every month. Sexual tension building. She's going there months on end for 1 week. Each time she comes back, she's making love to Tamlin, okay? One of the times she makes love to Tamlin, she thinks it's Rhysand. Like she imagines it's Rhysand thrusting into her.
Yeah.
And then the next time she goes to the Night Court, sexual tension, too much, crazy. Eventually, they fuck. Welcome to Relatables Baddies Book Club, where we will embark on a journey reading some of the finest pieces of literature you have ever laid eyes, or ears, if that's your preferred way to consume a book, on.
Oh, no.
A Court of Mist and Fury.
Oh, Jake.
Chapters 1 to 7.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I am. Well, I was thinking about the way we do our chapters, right? From 1 to 7. We've only read 6. We didn't read 7.
Should we say 1 to 6?
1 to 6.
Why do we say 1 to 7?
I don't know.
Well, that's where we finish.
Yeah.
It's a bit confusing.
That's all right. We'll keep it that. We'll keep it that way.
We'll keep it that way.
Yeah, we'll keep it that way.
I
Chapters
was
1 to
thinking
7.
that when I was reading. I got the chapter 7. I was like, am I meant to read
Yeah, I
this
was like,
or
yeah.
not?
Because I didn't.
You never die.
I was like, should I?
Yeah.
But oh well. We wanted to start it off with welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the Baddies Book Club.
Baddies Book Club's getting its own show because of how much we love it.
We want to address, we've turned up with some new artwork behind us.
Yeah.
A bit of a moody set for everybody.
Yeah, we needed to get it moody.
Yeah, I think so. Because this is, what's a word to describe this book? It's one word.
Delicious.
I was going to say juicy.
Yeah.
Sexy.
Yeah. Okay, so what I wanted to do was we'll start asking a question in the Baddies Book Club.
Yes.
On the Instagram. In the group channel. And so what I asked yesterday was, Baddies, I said, we're recording the first Akamath tomorrow. Just wanted to ask, fuck, marry, kill, Tamlin, Rhysand, and Lucian. 111 responses.
Let's go.
So, a couple things here. So the first one is, bring on the Bat Boys. I just know you guys are both going to love Cassian. So someone we don't know yet, or like Cassian or something.
We got to be careful here. We don't want to give too much
Spoilers,
away.
yeah. So there's another one here that says, I fear this could be a spoiler.
Yeah.
So we need to be careful.
Okay.
And someone else said, you cannot be asking questions like this without having finished the series. Avoid spoilers at all cost, my guys.
Yeah.
But we've got a couple. Someone said, fuck Rhysand, marry Lucian, kill Tamlin. Okay.
To be fair.
Okay.
We'll give ours at the end.
Yeah. Fuck Lucian, marry Rhysand, kill Tamlin. Okay. Marry Rhysand, fuck Lucian, kill Tamlin. Okay, there's a theme here. Here we go. This has 50 likes. You need to ask again with 2 different characters in about 16 chapters time.
Okay.
I'm
here for
I
that.
don't know if I can keep reading.
I think that's a bad idea. Let's do ours from what we've read so far.
From what we've read so far, I would like to say mine.
Okay. I think it'll be the same. You go.
I want to marry Rhysand, fuck Lucian, and kill Tamlin.
Right now?
I love Rhysand, bro.
I don't like Tamlin.
I hate him.
I think he's jarring.
Tamlin's a fuckwit.
He's selfish.
I hate him. I full hate him.
I think I'm the same with you, yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, there's so much. I want to get into this because there's so much to uncover about Rhysand, and he's actually out to look after.
Yeah.
Freyra.
No, Rhysand's a fucking a beast, bro.
Freyra.
Okay. So what we'll do is
Where do we leave things?
we left things off with the end of Akutar.
Yeah, she
Where-
just killed Amarantha.
Killed no. Tamlin killed Amarantha.
Yeah, well,
But she
Amarantha died.
She solved the riddle. She basically.
I would still give it as she contributed to killing
big,
Amarantha.
big contribution. Yeah,
wouldn't happen without it.
She was a distraction.
Yeah.
And so, basically, she at the end of the last book, she is, Rhysand's looking at her, and he has an interesting look. He's like, interesting. Leaves.
Yeah.
She's like, what? Okay, weird. Goes back, and then she's going back to the Spring Court, and she's talking about like how everyone loves her, and she's like a savior, but also she killed those 2 poor fairies, and she can't forgive herself. Yeah. And we kind of just end the book there. She's like, well, I'm back home now with my boy, Tammy Whammy.
Tammy Whammy.
Tammy boy. And yeah.
What I want to say about this book, firstly, is it's a way quicker start.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what Sarah J. Maas did was really smart in like the first book. If you wanted to stop, you could. And that's all the lead up to understand everything what's going on.
It's interesting. You could stop if you could at Akutar, but also Akutar, the entire book is like just a lead up.
Yeah, exactly.
The entire book is just a lead up.
Yeah, and it also could be its own thing, which is so smart.
It's very smart.
Yeah.
I loved Akutar.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
loving Akamath.
Yeah, same.
So basically we've read chapters 1 to 6.
Yep.
So we finished up at 7.
Yeah.
Okay, so the book starts off, Freyra has a bad dream.
Yeah.
She's having terrible nightmares about
Yep.
under the mountain, and she is sick,
Vomiting.
Another thing that's wigging me out is like, now I know that they're obviously gonna have toilets, but for some reason hearing the word like toilet in this book, like had my hands around the toilet.
The first book, I was imagining like the 18th
Shitting
century.
in a hole.
What do you toilets invented? Is that a dumb question? I was thinking shitting in a hole.
Same. I
wasn't thinking they shat, to be honest. Like, I wasn't
there's
thinking about
no
it.
way. I didn't think they had a flushable toilet in this book.
But reading book 2, I'm depicting more like Lord of the Rings, like really, really beautiful castles. Like, I guess there isn't a time frame in it.
Yeah,
is what we've learned.
I just for some reason was under the impression that like, I don't know, just Prithian being this magic land just didn't need toilets.
Yeah.
Just hearing that was sus to me. And also the fact that there's a point of it in this first couple chapters where Tamlin's like doing a bunch of paperwork.
You said that.
He's fucking Tamlin, bro.
Yeah. Why is he doing
paperwork?
Yeah.
You know? And it gets even more and more like the real world.
Yeah, which is funny.
Yeah. So Freyra's sick and she's like vomiting, dry heaving in the
She's
toilet.
got guilt over that. She's vomiting because she feels guilty
And
from
she's
killing
just,
the fairies.
yeah, like terrified, blah, blah, blah. And so she has constant nightmares. The nightmares every night of like Amarantha and her time under the mountain. And she says at the end of that chapter quickly, like, she goes over, like, crawls back into bed with Tamlin.
Yeah, nothing happened in chapter 1.
Nothing happened at all.
nothing,
And the only thing that I originally literally started making me dislike Tamlin from the start is that she goes, oh, he never wakes up when I have my nightmares. And I know he has them too. And if he is awake, he doesn't say anything. He doesn't console her. He's
very distant.
He doesn't want to talk to her about it. It's almost like he's trying to act as if it didn't happen.
Is that reflective of men in society? She's trying to deal with the problem head on, and he's just like,
She's not even trying to deal with it because she's got no help.
yeah, but she's got the mindset of like, I need to get better. I need to fix this something. I don't know how to.
Yeah.
But this isn't going to last forever. Whereas he's just like, brush it under the doormat.
Yeah.
Let's move on, bitches.
Yeah, it's a good point. And then, okay, we lead on to, it's almost, I guess it's the next day.
Yeah.
But so Feyre really wants to go to a high fae village nearby that's being rebuilt.
Yes.
Tamlin says
Insisting.
straight up, no. Like,
Tamlin's way too overprotective of her.
yeah,
Like,
agreed.
she was a beast when she's a human.
Yep.
Now she's a fairy.
Yep.
And I thought the start was going to be like her shooting like bow and arrows.
Same.
And like learning of her powers and stuff. That's what I was thinking.
Same.
And then it's just like she's whimpering in the corner and Tamlin doesn't let her leave the manor. And I'm like, what?
So there's a couple things I want to say. So Tamlin's pissing me off. All right. Overprotective. He just wants her to be like this dolled up thing that is just like there when he wants and does as he pleases. She's also jarring me.
She is too.
She's constantly fucking depressed, bro. Like, you're a magical high fae that's going to live forever. I understand that what you did was crazy, but
In the scheme of things.
in the scheme of things, bro,
She is quite annoying.
she's jarring me. in
yeah,
this book.
she is.
And she's also just so, like,
Whiny.
she's so whiny at the moment for some reason, you know? Like, I just want her to dive head first into something.
I know. It's what she's good at. Okay.
But, okay, so basically...
We chapter 2?
So chapter 2,
Yeah.
she's trying to go to this village and Tamlin's like, no. All right. He's like, you're not safe. It's not safe for you out there. Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, there's a bunch of stuff to do here at the manor. And she goes, all there is to do is plan the wedding. And that's the first... So a couple months. She's been in the spring court for 3 months, by the way.
Yeah.
Rhysand hasn't come to collect her once.
Yeah.
She's like, maybe he forgot. And so she's getting married. So she goes, fine. And she goes back in and we meet Ianthe.
Ianthe is introduced, the high fae princess.
Priestess.
Priestess?
Priestess.
Priestess.
She's a priestess.
Yes.
Yeah, there's 12 priestesses in Prithian. She's the youngest.
She was a childhood friend of Tamlin.
Childhood friend of Tamlin, and she fled when Amarantha came.
Yeah.
Her dad got her out of there, and Lucian hates her for it.
Yeah, Lucian hates her. How do you think she looks?
Hot.
I was thinking not.
Oh, the only reason I was thinking
Well,
hot
she's
is because-
sexual, but...
The only reason I'm thinking attractive is because Feyre says she's attractive.
Yeah, but she says that about everyone.
Feyre says that, like...
She says fucking everyone is the most beautiful person she's ever seen.
I've got to say something. I don't think there's a single ugly high fae, bro.
Yeah, exactly. But I was depicting her as like sort of not as beautiful as the rest. She's sort of just generic, like because Lucian doesn't like her.
No, but he likes her that's for a reason.
Yeah. But she's trying to sleep with him all the time. You think he would smash if she was like 10 out of 10?
Nah, bro's got principles.
Yeah, but also she's not that hot.
She knows I reckon
She's
she is.
throwing
She is.
herself
Yeah, but she
at
has
him.
men throwing themselves at her.
Yeah, but she's throwing herself at Lucian and he's not taking it.
It's because you want what you can't have.
Yeah, it's because she's not that attractive.
Yeah, whoa. You're trying to say to me that... What are you trying to say about my boy Lucian? That he's some shallow fucking dweeb.
No, I'm just saying I don't think she's that beautiful.
Okay, fair. That's how you're picturing her. Fair.
Because she's also has bad morals.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, no, it's a good point.
Yeah.
So basically, they just start doing some wedding planning stuff, boring, and then
Well, she's very into traditions of high fae and fairies, and she's trying to depict Feyre as this beautiful, perfect being.
Yeah.
So everyone looks up to her. And they don't want her to be real.
Yeah.
And they're dressing her like all
like dressing her in gowns, and she's just
like, what is this?
Outspending Tamlin's
and
money.
Tamlin's laughing at her, and then she's like, Ianthe knows what she's doing. I'm like, Tamlin, stick up for your girl.
Exactly. I have this written down.
Yeah.
The chapter ends though.
Okay.
Chapter 2 ends with a cheeky, sneaky sex scene, and but during it, Feyre finds out that she will never be Tamlin's equal, even though she's marrying him.
Yes.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah. I want to play that. I want to enjoy it together.
Okay. You got graphic audio?
I've just got the normal audio.
Oh, I listened to it on graphic audio. I should have said that. I've been reading and then listening on graphic audio.
I should have said too, what I've been doing, I saw a video and reading along with the audiobook makes you get like thrown head first into the world. Okay. So I'm reading along as they're talking.
That's hectic.
So here is the sexy
Are you
scene.
keeping up?
Yeah. It's slow as fuck. Your dog.
He emerged from the bathing room, slinging off his tunic and shirt, and I propped myself on my elbows to watch as he paused at the edge of the bed. My attention went right to the strong, clever fingers that unfastened his pants. Tamlin let out a low snarl of approval, and I bit my bottom lip as he removed his pants, along with his undergarments, revealing the proud, thick length of him.
I wanted to say
My mouth
pause.
went...
I wish I was described like that.
Yeah.
The proud, thick length.
That's crazy.
Continue.
dry, and I dragged my gaze up his muscled torso, over the panes of his chest, and then... "Come here," he growled, so roughly the words were barely discernible. I pushed back the blankets, revealing my already naked body, and he hissed. His features turned ravenous while I crawled across the bed and rose up on my knees. I took his face in my hands, the golden skin framed on either side by fingers of ivory and swirling black, and kissed him. He held my gaze through the kiss, even as I pushed myself closer, biting back a small noise when he brushed against my stomach. His calloused hands grazed my hips, my waist, then held me there as he lowered his head, seizing the kiss. A brush of his tongue against the seam of my lips had me opening fully for him, and he swept in, claiming me, branding me. I moaned then.
Oh, we'll leave it at that.
Wait, I got to tell you, PG.
PG?
PG as fuck. You've got to listen to the graphic
Oh,
audio.
right, in
Wait,
comparison.
She goes like, he let out a moan or something like that. And then in the background, it just goes, like, there's just a man's voice. Like, and then she proper.
Is it like the erotic novels we read?
So, yeah, what I have noticed is they're reading the book word for word. But when there's a scene like this that can be acted out, they add
I gotta
in.
switch, I gotta switch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she'll be like, yeah, he groaned. And then she'll go, there's a point there where it's like, basically, in the graphic audio, when you listen to it, she's like, Tamlin, it's fucked, bro. It's fucking
Is
intense.
it the same voice?
No.
Oh,
different voice.
okay.
Yeah, that's very like robotic. Yeah, bro. You got to try the graphic.
Okay, I'm keen.
But okay, so that was chapter 2. Got into it quick. Chapter 3, Tamlin feels guilty and Feyre goes with Lucian to the High Fae village to try and offer some help.
No one wants that shit.
Yeah, they get there. Everyone's just going, the debt has been paid. The debt has been paid. And no one will let her help because she is like the curse breaker, someone says. The curse breaker. And she goes, oh, I never heard that one before. And basically, she's just out here trying to help and they won't let her help. Yeah, so that was kind of...
Well, we learn about
the
tax on the Spring Court as well.
We learn about tax on the Spring Court, and we also learn about what actually... Go tax on the Spring Court first. It's called the tithe.
The tithe, yeah. And, well, I don't know. It's just like everyone... Tamlin gave everyone an extra month to gather all the resources to contribute to basically how he funds everything.
So, yeah, basically twice a year,
there's
a tithe, and every single person in the Spring Court has to come to Tamlin, and they have to pay a tax based off of what they earn. So it's just like how we pay tax.
Yeah.
And that's how he funds basically the Spring Court.
Yeah.
And he offers protection and help when he can to everyone in his court that is beneath him and in repayment for this tax. And so basically if someone doesn't come, Lucian keeps track and they get 3 days grace to come and pay their tithe. But if they don't come, Ianthe and the High Priestesses grant Tamlin a special like license or whatever he has to go hunt down the people that haven't paid and kill them. And that's what happens.
Yeah. Which, I didn't think, I didn't, it was a bit, I didn't know how I felt about that, eh?
Didn't like it.
It felt going back to like 1800s again.
That's exactly, I didn't like it.
I didn't like that either.
Yeah.
I didn't think Tamlin was about that life.
No, neither did I.
I thought he was just rich.
Exactly. And it's like, you're magical as fuck. Why do you need money? Okay, but we did find out. So Feyre notices that all the High Fae at the village they went to try and help out. She's like, I didn't see them under the mountain. And Lucian goes, we were forbidden to speak about it, but there were camps deeper within the mountain.
This was sad.
Deeper within the mountain, pitch black, no light. Very rarely did they get food. Were camps, and there was thousands upon thousands of fairies and high fae, all the ones that weren't of noble and like good need. And so for 50 years they lived in darkness,
and they did what they had to survive.
And they did what they had to survive. So basically, Lucian goes like, don't take any offense to things. Like, they're just learning how to actually just live again.
Yeah,
that's why everyone's looking at you like, oh.
At the end,
people cry when they look at her.
Yeah. At the end of that chapter, was that the chapter where Lucian mentioned he'd lost someone he loved?
He talks about how he had to watch the person he loves.
Yeah, he's
the
like,
girl,
we've all been there.
The female he loves, be killed. And
he's like, that's why Tamlin's so protective.
So to be fair, in this chapter, he talks about why Tamlin's so protective. And then at the end of the chapter, she does, like he says, he has so much pressure on him. We have to show a strong front because I think all the courts, like, you know, the spring court, given the chance, would overrun another court and vice versa. I think that's how it goes. Yeah. It's really weird. And so you have to show a strong front and be able to rebuild. They only have one chance to rebuild. So we need rules, we need laws, we need all these things. And so she's kind of like finally gives Tamlin a break and is like, okay, he's under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, but my feelings towards Tamlin, right? Feyre just saved every fucking body, and you're putting all your concentration into the spring court.
Yeah.
When she's the savior and she's just been transformed into this body she knows nothing about, and you're like just going on your day doing fucking high lord things.
And she's like a strong bitch now.
Yeah.
She's like breaking forks.
There's like a couple hints.
Yeah, and she's like, she like closes a glass door and shatters it and shit. Well, she doesn't know what to do with her. She's strong and she doesn't know.
Tamlin like accidentally like crept up on her and he punched her in the stomach. And
she talks about that later. Yeah. So that's that.
Yeah, chapter 3's done.
Chapter 4, we lead up to the wedding. Ianthe is making Feyre wear a horrible dress.
I hate Ianthe.
So, I hate Ianthe and I hate Tamlin. So Tamlin even says the dress is ridiculous.
No wonder they're friends.
But he goes, I trust Ianthe's judgment. She's trying to make a statement. And Feyre's like, why is he taking her side?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? And then basically she has another nightmare the night prior to the wedding. Wedding day arrives and she's walking down the aisle and she gets near the end and she's like nervous. She sees white rose petals and then she sees a red rose petal. And the red reminds her of Amarantha and she freezes. And then she nearly is at the top of, like, she's nearly at the altar walking up to Tamlin. And she's like saying in her head, oh no, I can't do it. Everybody's watching me. All these eyes. I can't do it. She was like begging for help. Like, somebody make it stop. And Tamlin like takes a step down and she takes a step back.
Yeah. She's freaking out.
And he's like, Feyre. And she's like in her head again, somebody save me, please, somebody save me, all in her head. And Ianthe's like, come, my dear, take your husband and let there be good in life.
She's panicking.
And then, fucking, she...
You know who.
And then finally, guess who heard her cries?
Yeah.
Our boy Rhysand.
But she doesn't know that he heard her.
So basically, Rhysand appears out of nowhere with night dripping off him. Looking handsome as ever, by the way.
Not now.
And so everyone's scared.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's scared of Rhysand.
No, everyone ran.
Yeah, he's a beast.
And Ianthe, the bitch, fucking ran away.
I think that there's something deeper there.
Yeah, there is.
I think Ianthe is terrified of Rhysand, and I think Rhysand would kill her given the chance.
Well, they said Rhysand's parents died.
I reckon her dad did it.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because her dad is one of Tamlin's highest generals. And yeah, so I think that because Rhysand's parents killed Tamlin's parents, I think that her parents have killed Rhysand's parents. And he has no family because of it, apart from, we'll find out. And so he hates Ianthe and she's scared of him. But he's like in there and Tamlin's like, leave. Fuck off, Tamlin. Honestly. Yeah. I reckon Rhysand could be Tamlin.
Yeah, so do I. Well, Tamlin's meant to be like the strongest being ever. And then he can't do anything about it.
Yeah, he's like, he comes out and he goes, hello, Feyre, darling.
Hello, Feyre, darling.
He goes like, oh, what a beautiful reception. And he's like, leave. And Rhysand goes, I thought it was over. At least Feyre did. Oh! And then Tamlin's like, leave, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I'm warning you, whatever. I don't know, some stupid.
I need to pick up on my debt.
Yeah. He goes, well, I've come to pull in my bargain.
Yeah.
You know what happens if blah, blah doesn't work out? He probably just kills Feyre or something. Yeah. I don't know. And so basically, he just takes Feyre.
But I don't understand. This is why Feyre is jarring too, because she's like, please, anyone save me.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this. She gets saved and she's like, no, you're a dog, Rhysand. I don't want to go with you.
She's like, I hate you. I hate you. Why are you taking me?
What are you doing?
So they get to the Night Court. It's beautiful at the Night
Chapter
Court.
4 done.
Yeah, chapter 4 done. I wrote down here, like, Rhysand appears, bro has aura.
I wrote, there was a moment before the wedding too, and Feyre was talking to the 2 soldiers.
Yeah.
And then she like had some come back and she's like, well, you don't know Rhysand very well, do you?
Yeah. Wait. So they notice the tattoo on her arm.
Yeah.
And they go, he hasn't come yet.
Yeah.
And she's like, nah. And he goes, don't worry. When he does, we'll take care of him. And she just goes, well, you don't know him.
Yeah.
You don't know Rhysand like I do.
And it's just like,
It's like, whoa.
you meant to hate him.
Yeah, like what? Okay.
Why are you sticking up
Fucking
for him?
hell,
Yeah.
Jesus. So, yeah, Tamlin tries to bargain. He even says, like, name your price. Rhysand's like, nah, don't even try. And then when they get to the Night Court, she talks about how beautiful it is. It sounds sick. And Rhysand's like, you're welcome, by the way. I will take your thanks at any moment.
Yeah.
You were about to say no.
That's when she realizes that he can read her mind
Yes.
through the tattoo.
And then so Feyre finds out that even her screaming for help, he hears. And also, every single time she wakes up from a nightmare, he wakes up from it.
Rhysand's like, bitch, let me sleep.
Yeah, he's like, oh, for fuck's sake, I just want a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
I want a good night's rest. Every time you wake up and scream and cry and vomit, it annoys me.
Yeah.
It sends it right down our bond.
Yeah.
So, and then, her room, she thinks she's a prisoner. And he's like,
No.
she's like, what do you want from me? Like, why did you actually just come
Yeah.
and get me? For real, like, this is stupid. Why are you even taking me? And he goes, like, we made a bargain, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes, your room's down here. I'll tell you at breakfast. And then again, once more, he goes, again, I'll take that. Thanks whenever. And she picks up her shoe and she fucking whips it at his head.
Yeah.
And she goes, I threw it so fast, it was like lightning. Not even a high lord could sense it. And it hit him. And he's like, what? And then he goes, I dare you to throw the other one. And she throws it at him and he catches it.
Yeah.
And he just like turns it into dust and he goes, interesting.
Yeah.
She was like, okay. And then she just goes, I'm not dumb enough to actually attack him here. So she goes off to her room.
Yeah.
Fit for an empress. Whatever, Feyre. We know you want his dick. Like, for real. But sounds pretty hectic. Gets woken up. She like sobs and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
She gets
Well,
crying
at the end
and-
of that, didn't Rhysand say, we're going to teach you how to read?
No, next morning.
Oh, next morning.
Next morning. So the servants come wake her up, goes up for breakfast, and
There-
she's
and
out
then
there
she
talking to him. She's like, you told me what you want me. And he goes,
what are we doing?
I want to teach you how to read. And so, and then I think that's all chapter 5. I want to teach you to read.
Yes, that's where it ended. Yeah, you're right.
And then chapter 6, Rhysand does, they're still at Brekkie, right?
Yeah.
And she's like I don't really remember what she's getting angry about, but she's like squeezing a fork. And then she realizes that she's like mangled this fork.
Well, I think she's like, what is this torture? You want to teach me how to
Yeah,
read? Like,
yeah,
you know, rubbing
yeah.
in my face
He's
that I'm
like,
illiterate.
yeah, you
that
just-
almost killed me once.
Exactly, yeah. She's
Yeah.
like, you laughed at me once for this. And she puts the fork down and he goes, interesting. And again, she goes, you said that last night. And he's like, can't I say it twice?
The sass.
Can't I say it twice? And basically, he just goes like, don't you find it interesting? Like, has anyone told you you're very strong
yeah.
for a high fae? And she goes, no. He's like, have you not tried this new power on anyone? He's like,
Rhysand seems like he's the only one with common sense.
yeah, he's like, if I was just resurrected by the 7 High Lords of Prythian, like, I would want to test that on someone.
See if you got anything else. And she's like, I didn't get anything else.
She's like, why would I? And then he kind of just like makes a comment, I don't know. And then he like stops and we meet Morrigan.
yeah, more.
That's Rhysand's
Cousin.
cousin.
I think she's beautiful.
Because apparently, so she goes,
Yeah.
if Rhysand is the most handsome male I've ever seen, Morrigan is the most handsome female.
Woo.
Okay. Morrigan, and then kind of they meet, blah, blah, blah.
No, she wasn't trapped under the mountain. And then she starts to tell the story. And Rhysand's like, that's enough.
That's enough. So I'm intrigued by that, by the way.
Yeah, so she's
Very.
done something.
So she's also, maybe Rhysand helped her out somehow. They go to learn how to read, but also Rhysand touches on being able to teach Feyre how to shield.
Yeah.
And the shielding is...
He's doing that for himself.
There's other people, fair. There's other people with his powers.
Yeah.
Maybe not as strong, but they they can train to be very good at the mind manipulation. So
Yeah.
her walls are always down because she doesn't know how to like put shields up. And someone could just come in and literally wipe her brain. And so he's like, you need to learn this. Now here's something that's funny. They go in to read next scene or whatever, and she sounds something out. And then
This was funny.
she's like reading it, and she's like, I can't do it. And he's like, yes, you can do it. And she's like, why can't you hire someone to do this? And he goes, well, I've got things to do, but this is fun. He's like, I like fucking with you.
Yeah.
And then basically he wrote down, you look absolutely delicious today, Feyre.
Yeah.
And she goes, that's what you got me to read. And he goes, and then it turns from him talking into like, he's now in her head. And he goes, from his head, like they can talk via telepathy or whatever. And he's like, isn't it true? He doubles down. He's like, it's true, isn't it? She's like, what, you fucking pig? And then
Get out of my head.
basically he did that whole thing of getting into her head to now he's like put his like talons in her brain and she feels it.
Claws, yeah.
And he's like, get rid of me. He's like, knock me out, get rid of me. Yeah. And she does. She learns how to shield a little bit. And then from there, I wanted to read page 65, right?
Okay.
Because this is one of the things that made me like Rhysand.
Well, he's the only one who's actually helping her
Yeah.
with her powers, shielding, reading.
Okay. So this Feyre's kind of saying like, isn't me freeing everyone enough, right? I blazed on. Isn't it enough that we're all free? I splayed my tattooed hand on the table. By the end, I thought you were different. I thought that it was all a mask, but taking me away, keeping me here. I shook my head, unable to find the words vicious enough, clever enough to convince him to end his bargain. His eyes darkened. I'm not your enemy, Feyre. Tamlin says you are. I curled up the fingers of my tattooed hand in my fist. Everyone else says you are. And what do you think? He leaned back in his chair again with his face was grave. You're doing a damn good job at making me agree with them. Liar, he purred. Did you even tell your friends about what I did to you under the mountain? So that comment at breakfast had gotten under his skin. I don't want to talk about anything related to that with you or them. No, because it's so much easier to pretend it never happened and let them coddle you. I don't let them coddle me. They had you wrapped up like a present yesterday, like you were his reward. So, a flicker of rage. Then it was gone. I'm ready to be taken home, I merely said. Where you'll be cloistered for the rest of your life, especially once you start punching out heirs. I can't wait to see what Ianthe does when she gets her hands on them. You don't have a particularly high opinion of her. Something cold and predatory crept into his eyes. No, I can't say I do. He pointed at a blank piece of paper. Start copying the alphabet until your letters are perfect. And every time you go through a round, lower and raise your shield. Basically, I just love that he fucking actually is saying what's true.
He's the only honest one, eh? And that is pretty much the end. Got anything else?
Nah. Big old cliffhang. Basically, he leaves for an hour and she does her alphabet.
Yeah.
Comes back. She's practiced her shields as well. And like she's actually gotten kind of good at it within the hour. And he goes, this might be fun. We could have fun with this. And then she's just like next scene, they're going into, she's following him and they go up in this massive round hall where the walls are all the maps of Prithian. And then there's a big black table in the middle with another smaller map. And he's like, what do you see? What do you see? And she goes, I see a world divided into where the wall is for the mortal lands and Prithian and all the fairy lands. And he's like, exactly. And she's like, I think he starts going and saying like, we need to prepare. She's like, for what? And it just ends with like, for war, Feyre.
War is coming.
War is coming.
Yeah.
So that's the recap. Again, we need to try and get the recaps out quicker. Apologies, guys.
That was a good cliffhanger to leave it on.
Thoughts, feelings. How are we feeling?
I'm feeling somewhat good.
I'm feeling so excited.
I'm excited. I don't know how to feel at this stage.
Okay.
It's like you've been on one date with a girl and you don't really know too much about her.
Yeah.
It's just like you don't know what her power's going to become into.
Yep.
And you don't know really how bad of a person Tamlin's going to turn into. It's too early to say anything.
It's too early to really say anything. You're right. I got to say, Rhysand is making this book good.
He really is.
To be fair, I guess they've
done it on purpose.
Sarah J. Maas is trying to make you hate Tamlin.
Yeah.
But I think that, I guess we said all our feelings as we were going. What about predictions?
Okay. Okay, so there's going to be a war. So I reckon what's going to happen is she's going to start despising Tamlin because all he cares about is the High Court and Ianthe's opinion. And he's like, just listen to Ianthe. And she's going to start to despise him, and she's going to look forward to hanging out with Rhysand. And she's like, I can't wait to learn more about my powers, her strength, learn to read. She's probably going to get really smart.
Like, why isn't Tamlin teaching her to read? He knows she's illiterate.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
What a terrible fiance.
Like, he's literally just leaves every single day.
Yeah.
And just, like, lets her go figure out shit to do. She's too scared to go into certain rooms in the manor. Like, he is refusing to talk about what happened. She needs to talk about these things.
Fuck, predictions.
So my prediction is that Rhysand is going to start training Feyre.
Yeah.
Feyre is going to be, I think, as powerful as a High Lord. And I say that because I'm trying to remember. So Tamlin, with his powers in fully back, I'm pretty sure is widely considered the most powerful High Lord. So, like, I think everyone could give him a run for his money, but like how Rhysand said, like, we'd take the mountain down. But he doesn't want to fight Tamlin.
Yeah.
Because Tamlin's too strong for the mind control stuff to work, and all out just stronger. So I think that but basically he creeps up on Feyre once, and she gets scared and hits him. He's the most powerful High Lord, and she knocked him on his ass. A High Fae couldn't do that. Lucian couldn't do that.
There's a couple of Easter eggs, eh?
Yeah, so the crumbling, so I think like the breaking of all the windows, the crumbling of the fork, the knocking Tamlin over when he's literally the most powerful High Lord.
That bit of recent saying at the end, don't you want to find out you just had 12 High Lords, see if they did anything else? 7 High Lords. Sorry. 7 High Lords.
Yeah, I think she's going to be the key to something, and she's going to end something.
Again. Yeah. Do you reckon, what's going to happen to the wedding? She's going to go back and say she's not ready? Do
Yeah, she's going to tell him that she's not
you
ready.
reckon that's going to be the start of their relationship not working?
Oh, 100%. Their relationship hasn't been working.
Yeah.
All he wants her for is sex.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well, I think all he wants her for is the look of what she gives.
I want to protect you.
She's the savior, and they're married, so they're perfect.
It's silly.
Yeah, he's a terrible boyfriend. Well, my predictions are something similar. I think she's going to figure out all of her powers, and she is going to start looking forward to it. And do you reckon they're going to sleep together? That's what everyone wants to know.
Rhysand and Feyre?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, so your love triangle you mentioned.
The love triangle is going to turn into just a Rhysand and Feyre triangle.
Yeah, okay.
A Rhysand and Feyre line.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm here for it too. I'm excited. There's so much unknown that the predictions are just like, I don't know which way. Like, there's so much unknown. Just at our fingertips, but we don't have it yet.
Wait a second. I think I have one more prediction.
What?
So, I don't remember where it was in those chapters, but Rhysand says something about, I think he says like, unlike the war-loving Spring Court. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He says something about the Spring Court loving war, because we know Tamlin's parents did. And Tamlin claims to be the first one that didn't. Do you think that what's going to happen is Tamlin has been trying to brainwash Feyre, right? Slowly gain her trust, get her to fall in love with him, proposed, because he knows how strong she is.
Oh.
Proposed to make it seem as though like we're locked in for life and we're immortal.
Mm.
And then he was going to slowly convince her that the mortal lands need to be reclaimed as part of Prithian.
Nah, I don't reckon.
And him, Tamlin, and King Highburn
we'll team
are
up.
going to work together.
Nah, I don't reckon. I disagree.
And the rest of Prithian, Rhysand, Feyre's going to fuck Tamlin off, go help Rhysand and the other Dawn, the Night.
That's what they're going to fight for.
That's what they're going to fight for. Do you think Tamlin does a big old double cross? Because he loves war.
It's a good take. That's
a crazy take.
I don't think that's going to happen though. Just because he seemed to, maybe, was he lying the whole first book about he liked mortals. Like he didn't seem too much to care about them. Like whereas a lot of other fairies hate them. Whereas he was just like, oh yeah, they are what they are.
I don't know.
I'm excited. So
I'm excited too. That's all I got to say.
how many chapters are we reading next time?
Mate, I honestly, I would love to do more. It's just that,
I think 7 again works well.
yeah.
How many chapters are in this book?
A lot.
Because those chapters were way longer than the first book.
You reckon?
Yeah. They're
Some of
way
them were.
longer. I swear the first chapters, like in the other book, were like 10 pages, not even.
They were a fair bit shorter, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. 68.
7, 28. That's 10 episodes then.
True.
That works out well. We'll do 7 if they start to go a bit quicker, because I think that's a good amount of time.
Yeah, it's a
Let
good
us know in
point.
the comments what you like to.
Yeah,
about 40,
again,
45
I
minutes
think
good.
we're asking, like, what do you guys want?
We're still figuring it out.
We're still figuring it out. Like, just then, was that too much recap and you guys want it to be, like, genuinely shorter and just really don't have any notes, all based off memory and blah, 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 blah?
I need the notes. You're one of a kind with your memory, mate.
Yeah. I remember
Yeah,
this
you're really
book
good, eh?
so well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd love to know.
I think that's pretty good. I enjoyed the way we did that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that too.
Yeah.
So, that's our predictions.
We'll see you next week at chapter 14. Join Baddies Unite Patreon if you want for the extra episode early on a Monday.
Remember, yes, if you liked that episode and you want it earlier, this episode comes out on Monday.
Hey, that was my subconscious. I was trying to say Instagram.
This comes out on Monday on Patreon, but then it comes out on Friday for free.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you want it early, head over to Patreon.
And you'll also get an extra episode as well while you're there.
Yeah. Every Thursday you get an extra extra
We're trying to make
like
that
the
really
main.
good value for money, just $5 a month. So
Yeah.
we love you.
And stay bad.